was 13, that was the first time I ever got arrested before when I was 13. And then in the end, I just got kicked out of education completely. So from the age of like 14, I kind of dropped out of school. And then when I was about 16, I got a gun charge. I was 40 bands deep before I started getting any sort of like huge traction, or before I started getting any record labels interested in that kind of thing. So my mom especially, actually, she is a huge End-Ups fan, yeah. So once she found out that I was opening up for Dappy at O2, yeah, man, she couldn't believe it. And while I was there, I even put my mom on FaceTime to Dappy. When you put music out with any of these platforms, they keep all of the revenue from the YouTube videos, you know. They'll charge you 350 quid to go on there in the first place.
Hello and welcome to another episode of Insight with the Podcast Club. Can you tell me who you are, where you're from and what you do, please?
Yeah, my name's CARTEL B.A.E. I'm from the West Midlands and I'm a rapper / CEO of a record label.
Okay, cool. Thanks for your time today. I know we're going to speak a lot about music, but before we get into that, can we get a bit of understanding of where you grew up and how school was for you, or your early years?
Yeah. So basically, I grew up in Birmingham, Smethwick to be precise, but then I moved to Warsaw when I was about 9 years old. We lived in Karma, probably for like 4 or 5 years there. And then a lot of situations happened with my family where I don't have the same dad as my siblings. So my dad and my mum decided they wanted to move down south. So we actually moved to Bournemouth when I was like 13 years old. So I ended up going to school mostly down south. Yeah. And then after I finished school, well, I didn't really finish school because when I was like 14, is that like year 10? Year 10's about 14. So I got kicked out of school. I got caught with some weed and that. They sent me to some, you know, like those naughty boy schools, you know, them kind of ones. Went there, barely ever showed up for that. And then in the end, I just got kicked out of education completely. So from the age of like 14, I kind of dropped out of school. And then that was it for me. And then other situations happened with my family where my older sister was having her first child and that. So we ended up moving back down to the Midlands. So, yeah.
How did moving around a lot impact you as a child?
Yeah, it probably impacted me quite a lot, to be fair, because my mum thought at the time moving down south would be a better option for me growing up than it would be in the West Midlands, you know, because the south seems like it's, you know, a lot calmer, especially down by the seaside. But to be honest, I probably got in more trouble there than I would have done in Birmingham or any part of the West Midlands. I got in way too much trouble there. And I think that was probably to do with me rebelling from the fact of, you know, the whole family unit kind of breaking down. Like, not long after we moved there, my dad got sent to jail. So he was in jail for a couple of years. And then, yeah, after that, like, I was just I guess I was just rebelling as a teenager. I mean, when I was 13, that was the first time I ever got arrested before when I was 13. Me and one of my friends, we was like shotting weed and that, you know what I mean? So we ended up getting caught shotting weed at 13. I got arrested, but I just got some like bullshit referral order and that kind of thing. So it was nothing too mad. Yeah, and then after that, it just continued, man. Like, geez, I got caught at school with weed, just doing stupid shit, man. Arson, fighting. And then when I was about 16, I got a gun charge. I got locked up for that. So yeah, wasn't the greatest. Even being in Bournemouth, it wasn't really, you know, anything that got me out of trouble. It probably got me in more trouble. I think these seaside towns, people underestimate them a lot, but really, like, there's a lot of crime going on there due to people from like London and other cities and that, you know, going there selling food and that. So yeah, when I was younger, a lot of shit going on.
How long did you get for the gun charge?
So I didn't actually get sentenced for it in the end. I don't really want to say too much, but I was held on remand for a few months for it. And then after that, I was released because they couldn't really pin whose person the gun was on at the time. Basically, long story short, we all got caught in a car. I don't want to say whose exactly it is or anything like that, but so yeah. In the end, I ended up getting out. I think what we got charged for in the end was just like a public order offence. So yeah, I ended up just when I got out, I ended up just doing a whole bunch of community service. I got like 250 hours community service or something like that. I got put on probation. And then yeah, I kept missing community service all the time because it was dead, bro. You know, they pick you up in the van in the morning and all that shit. You have to go there work. So I wasn't really enjoying it at all. So I was not turning up. I must have gone back to court about 2 or 3 times over that. And then in the end, they were like, look, we're going to reduce your hours. So you've only got to do 100 hours. But if you miss one single session of community service, then we're going to lock you up. So yeah, man, I was on time for that bus every morning then.
So you could say that you dodged the bullet there.
For sure, yeah.
Okay, so when you finished school and you started getting into all this mess,
Yeah.
did you go to college or university? Did you get a job or was you just straight road?
So I tried college for... I tried college. I was going to go there and do business studies. I lasted about a week or two. I don't even think it was that. I think like by the second day, I was already just not coming in and I was just like smoking weed and shit with my friends. So yeah. But then... yeah, so then straight back on the roads after that, you know, and then I did the road thing for years and years, and then when I was about 23, I decided I wanted to try university. So I wanted to get on a music business course, and I don't have any GCSEs because, like I said, I left school with literally nothing. I didn't do my GCSE, didn't do no A levels, nothing like that. So yeah, I thought, I'm never going to get onto this course, but I thought, let me give it a try, right? So I called up the university. I said, how can I get into uni? I got no GCSEs, I got no qualifications, but I do have a lot of experience in music because, you know, I was writing raps and stuff like that. I was doing a little bit of engineering and stuff, but I kind of just blagged the music professor on the phone that I was doing a lot more stuff in the music industry, really, than I was. So yeah, he agreed to let me in, and I went to university. But I must have been there for about a year and a half. I got through the first year of my course. Now I go to the second year of the course. Unlike the open week or whatever it is, it's not the open week, Freshers Week. Yeah, so you know, like Freshers Week, you kind of go back. You're not actually started uni yet. Everyone's just kind of like meeting up, having fun, that kind of thing. So before the second year even started, me and one of my pals at uni, we've pulled up to like the university like nightclub, like the student union club or whatever, and like we used to go there every week. We pulled up and the bouncers have pulled me out of the queue, and they're like, "We've got suspicion that you're selling drugs in here." So with that, basically, you're banned in it. You're not allowed in anymore. There's an investigation. Blah blah blah. And I'm like, shit. All right. So I leave and that. Next day, I get a call from the dean of the university, and he says, "We're gonna have to kick you out basically while you're under investigation. Apparently, you've been supplying the university with drugs. Blah blah blah. All this. I hadn't been, but yeah, they kicked me out for it. So I was under investigation for that for a good 6 to 8 months. In the end, there was no evidence or anything like that. So yeah, they kind of dropped the whole case. But after that, that just fucked up university for me completely. Do you know what I'm saying? So that was kind of the end of it for me. So with that, getting kicked out of university at, 24, 25 years old, I'm like, shit, man. Like, what the fuck am I gonna do now? Because like, I got no qualifications. You know what I'm saying? The road thing, like, how long can you do that for? Do you know what I'm saying? Without going jail or whatever. So I'm like, yo, I need to make the music thing work in it. So I went and recorded. The drill beats were popping off at the time, that kind of thing. I know I weren't really a drill rapper, but I recorded on a drill beat. And I played it to a lot of people, and they were like, "Yo, this is hard. Like, this is way better than any of the shit you've done before." So from there, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna give the music thing one last try. I'm gonna spit on drill beats. I'm gonna change my branding, change my name, because I used to be called something else. I'm not gonna say what it is right now, but I used to be called something else. So I changed the name, uh, and yeah, I dropped cocktails and wine bars, and what I was used to before when I was dropping music was I had no followers on Instagram. For years I was trying to do music. I had no followers on Instagram, getting no views on YouTube. Do you know what I'm saying? I was probably getting like 500 to 1,000 views per video I drop. And most of that was just friends and family, do you know what I'm saying? So, but yeah. So after I put the cocktails and wine bar snippet on Instagram, just a little snippet of me just like rapping, like hanging out of a car or whatever. And it went viral, and I had loads of people hitting me up, like loads of people with blue ticks, celebrities, that kind of thing. Yo, the freestyle's hard, need to drop it, need to drop it. Then Danny from Press Play DM'd me, and he was like, yo, this shit's hard, man. Like, let me get yourself a video shot, and I'm gonna drop this exclusively on Press Play, innit? So yeah, I dropped it on Press Play, and it didn't do the numbers that I thought it would, but it definitely set a foundation for me to continue from there. Like, I had a little bit of a fan base from there. The streams were going up on it. I think it got like 70,000 views or something. And yeah, compared to getting like 1,000 views in previous tracks I'd put out, that was quite big to me. So yeah, that was kind of the whole university thing and the story of how it kind of started out, taking the rap career a little bit more seriously.
It just goes to show the power of social media.
Yeah, for sure.
Speaking of university, let's talk about Rap University and what that's about and what it is.
Yeah. All right. So Rappers University is basically it's an online platform where you can join up for a small subscription fee a month. And it's just full of courses on there. So basically, because a lot of these kids who are rappers, they have no idea about music marketing or anything. A lot of them think, oh, I'll drop a video on YouTube, I'll post it on Instagram, and it'll get millions of views, it'll go viral. When really, like, viral hits don't even really happen anymore. And like, I'm saying this like I knew it, but I didn't know it myself at the time. When I was coming up, I had no idea about, Google ads and Spotify playlisting and all the methods of marketing music. So yeah, Rappers University, ton of courses on there, a lot of marketing techniques, and then basically after you've completed all of the courses on there, you can then move on to unlock the section which provides services. So, we can plug your tune with GRM, Mixtape Madness. And I know a lot of people will say, oh, well, I can go on to Mixtape Madness and get the email and do it myself. But Mixtape Madness, GRM, these kind of platforms, they're not really responding to most of these people. Do you know what I'm saying? So if you know someone who knows people there, you've got a much better chance. So that's what we do. We can provide, professional Spotify playlisting, pitching. There's a ton of services. I don't want to reveal all of them because it's a monthly cost to be on there. So if you're an up and coming rapper and you're really struggling to get things off the ground and you're not getting many views, you're not getting many streams, then I suggest you sign up and just give it a go, because at the end of the day you can cancel the subscription at any time, even if you just want to check it out for the month. It might be worth it for you. So yeah, Rappers University is out now. The link is in my bio on my Instagram. It's a Discord server, so make sure you're up to date on Discord.
We'll add the links to that into the bio of the video as well. So anyone that wants to go and check out Rappers University, I think you're right. That's an amazing thing for young up and coming artists. It is hard to get off the ground. There is a lot of people about trying to do the same thing. So.
Yeah, and and no one's ever done anything like that. There's not anyone doing that. Like, there's no one helping these kids out there, really. I mean, there are some people helping, but I mean, in that kind of way, there's not a platform that exists like that. I'm the first person to do it, and people will say, "Oh, why does he want to help me do this? Why does he want to reveal the secrets, like label secrets? Because all the marketing that labels do, none of these kids have any idea about. It's just the rappers really in the industry that know about it, because rappers have the biggest ego in the world. There ain't no one who's got a bigger ego than a rapper, right? So none of these people want to tell you, oh, I spent thousands of pounds on Google ads to push my video to get all these views. No one wants to tell you, oh, I landed a fucking editorial playlist on Spotify. That's why I'm running up all these streams. They don't want to tell you that. They just want you to think, oh, I'm the big G and I'll put the video out and it just fucking blew up. And really, that's not the case. And that goes for all of the rappers. Because like, even people like Central C is very, very organic. He's one of the biggest, he's the biggest rapper in the UK right now. There's no doubt about that, right? But even Central C having a huge fan base, I can guarantee you at least 40% of his streams are coming from editorial playlists still. These playlists have got millions and millions of followers on Spotify. So the second your song gets put on the top of that playlist, you're just hitting millions and millions of streams weekly just from playlists. And a lot of people don't realise that. They think they just come out of thin air or.
I think Cinch seems to have a great team. They know exactly what they're doing in terms of management. And
1000%, man.
And that isn't, like you said, that isn't shown to the kids that just want to
No. There's a plan behind it. It just, you know what I mean? They didn't mistake. That wasn't a mistake. You know what I mean? Central C was trying for years before that happened. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, man, he's got it all, bro. He's got the look. He's got the full package. Central C has. You can't deny it.
So talking of marketing, let's talk about billboards. Because I've seen you hopping out of a G-Wagon and I've seen your face and your song on a billboard. Talk us through that process and how that happened.
Yeah, to be honest, bro, I took my mum for some dinner. We were sat in a restaurant in Warsaw. This wasn't even that long ago. Because I'm active like that. I'm about, man. Like I still, do you know what I mean? Warsaw's my hometown. I walk around Warsaw all the time, and so I took my mum for some dinner, and I'm looking out the window, and I just literally, it's as simple as this. I see a billboard. I see the contact information attached to it, and I just hit them up, and they told me a price, how much it cost. To promote my mixtape. So. Yeah, I got it done, man. Simple as that. No label or nothing like that. I did it out of my own pocket, yeah.
I think that's the difference. Nowadays. Investing in yourself. Most people just think they can put a freestyle video on Instagram and they're going to be the next big thing because they can actually rap.
Yeah, for sure.
There's so much more to it than that.
Yeah, I mean, I was 40 bands deep before I started getting any sort of like huge traction, or before I started getting any record labels interested in that kind of thing. So yeah, you need a lot of money. That's what a lot of people don't realize. It's a lot of money, man. It is a lot of fucking money. People don't realize that every time you drop a song, you need to be putting 5 bands into fucking marketing, or you know what I mean? You can obviously there is other ways. There's like, you got TikTok and that nowadays, you know what I'm saying? So you can drop a fucking song on TikTok and you might get lucky and it might go crazy on there, do you know what I mean? But that, it's all good in that, you know what I'm saying? You can make a little bit of dough off of it, but there's no longevity in that, do you know what I'm saying? Like half of these TikTok rappers, bro, like they come out of a hit and then 6 months later, like, where are they? So yeah, man, invest in yourself.
I think we see that all the time. People popping up and disappearing, and you never hear from them again.
Yeah, for sure.
But while we're on the topic of music and investing, talk to me about your record label.
Yeah, so Black Flag Mafia Music. So record label I started a few months after really jumping into the industry as an artist myself. And yeah, it's doing pretty well, man. We got our own distribution. We got our own marketing team. I just signed SV. A lot of people are aware of SV if you listen to drill music. He's a big rapper from Nottingham. I think he put one of his songs, No Fibs, he put that on Mixtape Madness. It's just touched 10 million views on there now. Yeah, man, he's a really dope rapper. So I just signed him. I got D Hundo on there. He's an up and coming rapper from Derby area. Yeah, and to be fair, like they're just artists that are officially on the label, but we got a ton of people distributing with us as well, who aren't like officially signed with the label. They just like they just do distribution with us. But yeah, we offer a lot of services, and we're definitely looking to sign more artists. And when I say sign more artists, I'm not just putting them on the label and then that's kind of it. Like, we're doing it properly. Like, these artists are getting big advances. They're getting proper marketing. And we're putting things out right. It's not like, because a lot of people say, oh, I got a record label, it's a record label, but it's not really a record label, do you know what I mean? They just say, oh, this is my record label, and that's it. But we're actually structured like a proper record label, you know what I mean? We're doing it properly, so yeah.
For those who don't understand what distribution is, do you want to quickly break that down?
Yeah, so distribution is basically... it's basically how you get your music onto Spotify, Apple Music, and all the other DSPs. So, say you was a chocolate bar company, you made a chocolate bar, okay? So you don't just go to Asda yourself and say, oh, can I sell this here? You go for a distribution company, and the distribution company then puts you into Asda, Tesco's, Sainsbury's, whatever it may be. And that's basically what a distribution company is in the music industry. You go for a distribution company, and they'll put all of your songs onto all the digital streaming platforms.
Wicked. So, why the mask?
Okay. So basically, as I was going back to, when I was talking about university, the whole investigation against me. So obviously, some of the stuff that they were accusing me of doing at the time, and I was putting cocktails and wine bars out, that was about to, I was about to shoot a video for it and that kind of thing. I thought, it's going to look pretty crazy if I put this drill song out with me rapping about selling drugs and this, that, and the other, and the university are investigating me and the police for selling drugs, which I wasn't doing, but I'm just saying that's what they were investigating me for. So I didn't think it was a great idea to come out rapping about that kind of thing while that was going on. So I covered my face for a while with a COVID mask, and I used to put my hood up and that. And this was January 2020, okay? So I was rocking the COVID mask before COVID. COVID was just starting to happen, yeah? Like early January 2020, COVID started coming in, and everyone started rocking the fucking COVID mask. So I'm like, right, I need to switch it up. So yeah, I found a mask, and I got it designed. Yeah, I got it designed. So shout out to Tom Fitch, excellent artist. He does all of my masks.
Shout out Tom Fitch. You can go and check our interview out with Tom Fitch. That's out now as well.
100.
I want to talk to you about opening up for Dappy.
Yeah.
Not going to give away ages.
Yeah.
As we spoke about off camera, when we was younger, N-Dubs was huge.
Oh, yeah.
So opening up for Dappy must have been quite a thing.
Yeah, for sure, man. Like, as I was growing up, I was an N-Dubs fan. You know what I'm saying? But I was listening to more American music and that back then. You know what I'm saying? I was a big 50 fan. I was a big Eminem fan, Mobb Deep, that kind of thing. But when it come to the UK music, obviously back then the scene wasn't as big as it was now. So you had like, it was like Channel U, and you had like, I don't even know, like Mr. Wong and those kind of cats, you know what I'm saying, Frontline Gang, all them. So I was listening to a lot of that, but then obviously N-Dubs were there. They were putting out a lot of fucking hits. You couldn't really miss them. They were doing Adidas deals, all sorts of shit, man. They were killing it. So yeah, man, I was an N-Dubs fan. I was a Dappy fan. My mum especially, actually, she is a huge N-Dubs fan, yeah. So once she found out that I was opening up for Dappy at the O2, yeah, man, she couldn't believe it. And while I was there, I even put my mum on FaceTime to Dappy. Just in her face, man. So yeah, yeah, so basically, my manager at the time, V-Don, so shout out to V-Don, good guy, did a lot for me back then. yeah, he was like, oh, Reese is doing the transport for the Dappy tour. So Reese is from Stealth Connections. You know, they do touring and that kind of thing. And he was kind of co-managing me at the time as well. And they were, yeah. So V goes, oh, Reese is doing the tour transport for Dappy. I was like, oh, wicked, man. I said, fucking hell, I'm a big Dappy fan, bro. He's like, for real? He's like, I didn't even think you'd like Dappy, innit? I was like, nah, dude. He's like, shit. He's like, yo, say no more, man. He's like, you're going to be opening up for him fucking on the weekend. And I'm like, shit, man, you think you can make that happen? And he was like, I'm going to make it happen. So, yeah, man, he fucking made it happen, innit? Pulled up there, met Dappy. Yeah, went on stage, shut it down, man. But the crowd was kind of crazy, though, because it was a mixture of, like, underage kids and then, like, 35, 40-year-olds. So, like, you know, I don't know if they were ready for what I was coming on stage rapping about, but they felt it either way. It was all right, man. It was a good night still.
Your mum must have been proud of that.
Yeah, for sure, yeah. I mean, a lot more than she used to be back in the day, innit?
What's your thoughts on the rap industry now?
So, I think it used to be better when you could sell CDs and that kind of thing. I love that kind of era. I think there was a lot more money back in it back then. But saying that, man, like streaming pays pretty well, you know. PRS, that kind of thing. And then you got obviously TikTok and that nowadays, and people are getting viral hits on that. So I don't think there's nothing wrong with it, but I just think people look at it in the wrong way. So you got people like you know, you got these platforms like Mixtape Madness, GRM, Link Up TV, and that. And I just think I think they're eating a lot off of other rappers, a little bit too much, and not necessarily bringing much to the table other than a YouTube channel they've, you know, built up over years. Because when you put music out with any of these platforms, they keep all of the revenue from the YouTube videos. You know, they'll charge you 350 quid to go on there in the first place. Yeah, I just think a lot of them are crooked, bro. I've had a lot of issues with some of these channels. Yeah, I've had a lot of issues with them, man. You know, some of my artists that are on my label, never seen a check once from single deals. You know, so because a lot of these platforms, they're actually record labels as well, which you probably know anyway. But yeah, a lot of them are record labels, so they'll cut single deals with people and that kind of thing. Not just for the visuals, for the audio included. Yeah, yeah, man. There's some people on my label who've never received a check, and they're doing verbal agreements in person, and you know, they're getting 18-year-old kids to come to their studio in London and record there, when these kids don't know that. You know, it's a well-known fact in the music industry that whoever pays for the studio session owns the master, right? And these kids don't know that. So these platforms are telling them to come to London to record in their studio, and they're gassed. But they don't know that they own the record after that. And they're putting it out, and now man ain't got a leg to stand on to get paid. So, yeah, man, I really... I think I'd put music out with GRM again. But I don't think I'd touch Mixtape Madness again. Press Play is a good channel. But yeah, Mixtape Madness. I had a lot of issues with them, man. I remember, like, back in the day, well, it wasn't even back in the day, a few years ago, before I put Free Waps out, yeah, Free Waps is my biggest song, yeah. When I put that out, that shit blew the fuck up, and it blew me up, right? So, I shot that video with a guy called Matthew, and he works for Mixtape Madness. And the deal is, when you shoot a video with him, your shit gets uploaded to Mixtape Madness for free. You don't have to pay the £350 charge that Mixtape Madness charge, right? So we shoot the video. Video looks hard. Matthew's like, right, I'm going to send it to whoever at Mixtape Madness, and they're going to, they'll patent it, yeah? So he emails them. Geezer hits him back, and he's like, yeah, it's a myth for this one, bro. You know, we're not putting this one out. And I'm like, what the fuck, man? So I'm like, all right, fuck it. Just send me the video and I'm going to get it on the channel myself. So I emailed Mixtape Madness myself through the submissions page on their website. Yeah, calm, bro. Send us 350 quid and we'll post it. I'm like, what? You know what I'm saying? You didn't want to put it on a minute ago. Do you know what I'm saying? You were saying basically it was whack. So it goes on Mixtape Madness and it does like 800,000 views in its first week. You know, and then like after that, it's just 100,000 views every day. It just keeps going on. And it blew me up, innit? You know, it's got like 3.5 million streams on Spotify. It's got like 2.5 million streams on Apple Music. Yeah, but they didn't want to put that out, bro. Believe it or not, Free Wax was not for Mixtape Madness apparently. But yeah, man. I guess whoever said that just hated on me at the fucking time because I've had a few incidents like that on Mixtape Madness, bro. I don't know if they'll hear this and they'll want to take my video down, but I don't really go fuck, bro. Because at the end of the day, man, they're pretty crooked, bro. They're pretty crooked. The way that they're doing artists like that, you know what I'm saying? Like my artist has had a song out of them for nearly 2 years now, bro. And he was promised 50% on the streams. He was promised 50% on the YouTube revenue, and he's not received a single penny. On top of that, they owe him a 5 million view plaque, yeah. They owe his brethren a 1 million view plaque. They owe him another 1 million view plaque. And now they owe him a 10 million view plaque. And all of a sudden, I can't seem to get a hold of anyone at Mixtape Madness now. So I just be careful, man. I just really don't like the rap platforms. As I said, Press Play is a good one. And GRM's fine. Do you know what I'm saying? I don't mind putting music out in there, man. But some of these platforms are crooked, man. So you got to watch out for them. Yeah.
It's definitely a dodgy industry if you don't know what you're doing. You need people like you in place with these artists to make sure that they're getting exactly what they're required to get.
1,000%.
What's your opinion on drill music, and does it impact the kids? When I say the kids, I mean the teenagers.
Yeah. Yeah, it does. And all of these other rappers will say, oh, you know, no, it doesn't. Oh, we're just expressing our upbringing and that. And yeah, we are. But at the same time, 1,000% it does, bro. 1,000%. When I was growing up, listening to 50 Cent, and he was talking about fucking shotting coke, shotting brown, that is all I wanted to do, bro. Like, you can't tell me that musicians are the biggest influencers in the world, yeah? Like, musicians will wear something, yeah? So Central C will throw a fucking night tech on, and it'll sell out in JD the next day. Everywhere, gone. Musicians are the biggest influencers in the world. So you cannot turn around and say that drill does not influence the kids, because it does, and that is a fact. I don't care what anyone says. You know what I'm saying? And that's me saying it being a drill rapper. I'm not gonna sit here and say, oh no, it doesn't. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't influence them. You know, everyone's got. It does, man. It really does. And it's a shame. And it is right in saying everyone. You know. Everyone has their own actions. No one has to go and do anything, regardless what you've heard. But, you know, it does influence kids, man. And it's a shame, man, because there was many stabbings back in the day. There always had been. And I don't know what the stats are. I don't know whether it's got worse or whether it's not got worse. But for sure, drill influences the kids, man. 1,000%. You know, you see all these fucking 13, 14, 15-year-olds out on road, and they're fucking walking around with balaclavas on and shit, knifed up. They just don't give a shit, man. And they'll be walking down the road with their phone, blasting out drill music. You know what I'm saying? You see it all the time, innit? You see kids at the train station, they're listening to drill music, they're playing it loud on their phone, they're wearing baddies, all this kind of thing. So yeah, it definitely influences them, man. Definitely.
With drill getting bigger very, very quickly, do you see a solution?
A solution to what exactly?
The violence attached to drill.
I don't really think there's a solution. No, I don't think. Obviously, it. I guess it kind of starts in the home. You know, most people, especially like myself as well. You know, I grew up without a dad. My dad went to jail, and I haven't seen my dad in like 15 years, over 15 years. It does play a huge part with the families, because I think if my dad was around, my dad was pretty scary. Do you know what I'm saying? So if I got in trouble, I wouldn't want to fucking come home and see my dad. Do you know what I'm saying? Whereas if I got in trouble and I was coming home to my mum, I know in a week she's gonna have a fucking fat go at me and that, but in a week it's gonna be calm. You know what I mean? But yeah, I think if there's fathers in the household, I think that definitely helps. But saying that, there's kids out there still fucking stabbing people with their dads at home. You know what I'm saying? So I don't really think there's much of a solution for it. Actually, yeah, there is a solution for it. Yeah, if they want to go and stab someone, they get fucking caught. They should get the fucking death penalty, or they should go to jail for life. Loads of these kids are stabbing people, and they're giving them like 10-year sentences and shit. Like it should be like Dubai, bro. It should be like Dubai. Dubai is one of the safest countries in the world. You know what I'm saying? You ain't gonna get stabbed there. You can walk through the streets at 3 o'clock in the morning with a 50 bag watch on. You ain't gotta worry about getting robbed or nothing like that. So the police aren't doing an awful lot, man. And the punishments, they're just a fucking minor. You get caught with a knife, you get like 6 months in jail. You know what I mean? If you get caught with a fucking knife in Dubai, you probably ain't coming out of jail again. So yeah, man, I think bigger punishments. Although I'd probably be in jail still now if that was the case. But you know, it is what it is, man. We've all got to take responsibility for our actions.
What's next for you?
So I'm going to continue evolving Rappers University. Every month, that's getting stronger and stronger. We're adding more features to it. We're adding more courses, more services. But music-wise, next year, so I don't know when this podcast comes out exactly, but January 2023, my artist SV, he's dropping his first mixtape, Street Visions. So we've got that coming out with the label. Right after that, my artist D Hundo, he's dropping his first tape as well. Then shortly after that, early February, I'm dropping another mixtape. And then shortly after that, in March, we're dropping a Black Flag Mafia collab mixtape. So that's going to have all of my artists from Black Flag Mafia, including myself. Yeah, man. So a lot of music. And then in the summer, I got a bunch of house music coming out with a few producers. I don't know if you heard of B.A.E before. He's a fairly big house producer. Put a song out with JK and Double L's not long ago. He had another song come out with Double L's. Yeah, man, he's a dope producer. So yeah, a lot of house music coming in the summer for sure. I'm trying to as I get older and I grow up more, you know, I start to realise that I want to have a little bit more fun with the music now. I don't want to be too serious all the time with the whole drill thing and that. I'll always do drill music because I love drill music. I love the drill beats. But for sure, man, I want to have a little bit more fun with music. And I got some dope house records coming out this summer.
What motivates you? Other than money?
Yeah, so basically, I think freedom. So I feel pretty free right now. I don't have to get up at 8 o'clock in the morning, 7 o'clock in the morning and go work a job because that to me isn't freedom, you know? I can do whatever I want. I can get up in the morning, I can go get a haircut, I can go to the fucking gym, I can go get a fucking sunbed, you know what I'm saying? I can blaze a fucking zoo, I can smoke a cigar, I can have a drink. While I'm working on my phone, on my laptop, going about my business, freedom is what motivates me because when I was younger, you know, and the whole, you know, stuff that was going on with my dad, this, that, and the other, because my mum was in an abusive relationship with him. We lived in a refuge and we were skint, like to the point we had nowhere to live. It was a refuge, you know what I'm saying? Like it was a woman's refuge. My mum had absolutely nothing. We had nothing. She was studying at university to be a nurse and working at the same time. So, yeah, I just remember how much I was struggling that when I was younger. I remember how much my mum was struggling. So the place I'm in now, I'm more than grateful for. And as I said, yeah, that motivates me. It's not just money, but being free. You know what I'm saying? Not having to. There's nothing worse to me than working a job, man. I couldn't think of anything worse. I've never wanted to do that. I've never really done that. You know, now and again, when I was growing up and that, you know, I might have tried like a factory job or something like that, and I'd be there for a few hours and I'd end up walking out because I just feel so strongly about hating those kind of jobs. So no disrespect to anyone who does those kind of jobs. Everyone's got to eat, you know what I'm saying? And not everyone can be a rapper if, you know, but I do believe that anyone can be anything they want. If you don't rap, you can do something else, you know what I'm saying? Some sort of business. But Yeah, man, for sure. Freedom is what motivates me.
Leave us with a quote that you live by.
Okay, so I don't necessarily live by any quotes, but what I do live by is never giving up on something, because through the years, it took me probably 10 years to get a check from rap, right? So, and throughout that, I was, I got to a point where I just didn't believe in myself anymore, and the whole thing that went on at uni. After that, I had no choice but, yo, you need to believe in yourself and fucking do this now. And that, I mean, a lot of people say it, that is what made me who I am today. So I don't think I really live by a quote, but I'd always say 100% believe in yourself and don't give up. I fucking hate people who give up. Yeah, I hate people that start something and then, it doesn't really go too well, and 2 weeks later they give up. That ain't how you do it. That ain't how anyone does it. Do you know what I'm saying? So I hate people that give up. Never give up, and just stay focused and just do whatever makes you, whatever you're passionate about. Yeah. So no quote, but just never give up, and believe in yourself.
Is there anything you want to finish up on?
No, not really. Just look out for the new music that's going to be hitting early 2023. Sign up to Rappers University. Hit me up on Instagram if you want to know a little bit more information about it or anything, or just check out the website rappersuniversity.com. And follow me on Instagram at CARTEL B.A.E, no dots. And yeah, man, I appreciate you for having me, bro.
I thoroughly enjoyed that conversation, so thank you for joining us today.
No doubt.
You've been watching Insight with the Podcast Club, and that was